If you'd like to make your NFL games a little more interesting, you've come to the right place. It's the Even Money Podcast with Ross Tucker and Steve Fezzik.
Yeah, Vegas, baby, Vegas. It is the Even Money Podcast, presented, of course, by the DraftKings Sportsbook app. We love those dudes. I'm Ross Tucker, former NFL offensive lineman, 5 teams, 7 years. You know that. Hopefully, you already subscribed to our YouTube channel where you can watch this show and or see the highlights of all the other shows we've got. The Daily Ross Tucker Football Podcast, Fantasy Feast Podcast, the College Draft Podcast, where we're making bets on all these college bowl games and the college football playoff against the spread. And, of course, Andrew Brandt's Business of Sports podcast as well, all over youtube.com/Ross Tucker NFL. We love when those of you that enjoy the show retweet it or share it on Instagram or Facebook or like it or whatever, at Ross Tucker NFL, at Ross Tucker Pod. He is the star of the show, though. I freely admit that. You all already know that. The only 2-time winner of the Super Contest out there at the Westgate, the one, the only, Steve Fezzik, at Fezzik Sports, except no substitutes. Steve, let's dive right into last week. Man, you are good. You are really, really good. I don't know what to say. I was down a unit. You were somehow up 5 units. I don't know how you did that, but you did. Your Broncos bet came through. I didn't feel good enough about them. I went with the Ravens instead, and it cost me quite a bit. For the week, you were up 5 units. I was down 1 unit, which means for the year to date, you are up 48 units, Steve, on the Even Money Podcast. Unreal. I am down 1 unit. Has not been a banner year for me. We will start on Thursday night, where we both leaned Titans, but that's all it was, Steve, was a lean. We should have taken them. They were getting 3.5 at home, and they won outright.
Yeah, and the Titans are a team that the wise guys can't stand. Since Derrick Henry left, getting like 4.6 yards per play, but they keep putting up enough W's. They're still in contention for the 1 or 2 seed. A team we always hear, what team do you not want to play in the playoffs? Well, the Titans are the team everyone wants to play in the playoffs.
Why do you say that?
Because they're an average team, and average teams shouldn't be in the playoffs. Don't care they won 5 straight games against playoff teams. They're an average team.
They find a way. So by that notion, you probably think Mike Vrabel should be coach of the year.
Yes, I do. He's done an outstanding job. What's interesting, I think coach of the year is supposed to be an evaluation of the year performance. So Flores is getting a lot of talk about getting voted coach of the year, I guess because he won 7 in a row at the end of the year instead of losing 7. So the 7 in a row he lost at the beginning of the year didn't matter. It's shocking to me that he's in contention now for coach of the year.
Yeah, it's a good point. He's getting credit for the turnaround there. That's for sure. Let's move on. Browns, Packers. We both had the Packers in a teaser. Wow. That's why the teaser matters, Steve. We teased them from -7.5 down to -1.5 when the Packers were up 9. I was telling my father-in-law and brother-in-law on Christmas how happy I was that I had teased them down, because even if the Browns scored a touchdown like I thought they would, it was still a winner.
Come clean here, Ross. You love teasers. You love teasers more than anything in the world.
I do love teasers, except when Tyler Huntley gets ruled out the day before the game, and so Josh Johnson has to start a quarterback. Although, you know what? The Ravens couldn't stop the Bengals on defense anyway, so whatever. I do like teasers. I like teasers and dogs. I got a lot of dogs this week. This is going to be a big week for me. I'm going to get in the black this week for the season. At any rate, Colts, Cardinals. Neither one of us had anything on that game, not even a lean. Bucks, Panthers. I lean Panthers getting the 10.5 after all the injuries for the Bucks. No. They lost 32-6 as the Bucs blew them out. Chargers, Texans, just a lean to the Texans getting 9. They won outright by 12, Steve.
Yeah, one of the more interesting games of the year. All of the money on the Chargers really against the Texans down their entire O-line. Ross, it turns out O-linemen don't matter. Don't be offended because you just put out anybody. As long as quarterback releases the ball quick, it's fine, right?
By the way, bro, Steve. But by the way, there's a lot of truth to that. Quarterbacks having a big say on sacks and stuff like that. I forgot you did have a play on the Panthers game. You had the Panthers plus 10.5 parlayed with the under 44 in that game. Only one unit and you lost it, Steve, in that Panthers-Bucks game.
Yeah, and even worse, there was no correlation because the game went under. So if you would have played favorite to over or dog to under, either way you lose on those correlations.
So Bills, Patriots, I had the Bills for one unit getting 2.5, and then I teased them. We both teased them up to 8.5. So that teaser hit. All three of your teasers hit. Packers, Bills, Packers, Broncos, Bills, Broncos. But because I had the Ravens in there, I lost 2 of my 3 teasers. So unfortunately, fortunately for you, the Broncos one came through. Unfortunately for me, the Ravens one did not, but the Bills did. Ravens, Bengals, I leaned Bengals. Boy, I should have gone with them. They won it by 20 points. Then you've got Falcons, Lions. We both leaned Falcons, laying the 5.5. How about the Lions? They stayed tough.
Quick note on the teasers, because there's such wild point spread swings in the NFL with all the players that oftentimes are out, you really probably should be considering teasing at post right before the games kick off so you've got certainty about where the line is, because you're really counting on the game landing close to the line. And if you have these enormous line moves, like you look at the Baltimore game, you can get screwed just by, half your team being out. So teasing early in the week is fraught with danger.
Interesting. Taking a note on that one. I have found that out the hard way, although unfortunately, this is when we record the show. This is the life we've chosen. Now, I guess on some level, I benefited from that last week because I did have the Dolphins against the Saints, and then they lose Taysom Hill and Simeon. So I benefited from that. But Josh Johnson starting for the Ravens, I knew I was cooked as soon as that happened. That was unfortunate. That's one of those where if I hadn't actually put the bet in, I wouldn't have, but it is what it is. Jets, Jags. I leaned Jets. You leaned Jags. Jets were laying 2.5. Jets won by 5. Jaguars probably had the worst goal line series I've ever seen a team attempt at the end of a game. Absolutely pathetic. Incredibly pathetic.
I have not seen the NFL rewind on the final 13 seconds, Ross, but I have to tell you, the spike is one of the most overused plays of all time. If you have 2 downs to get a touchdown and you're donking off one of the downs just to spike the ball, something is wrong. And I go back to the I spoke about Lawrence, like he wanted to spend Sunday with his girlfriend instead of watching NFL games. This is the situation. A savvy NFL quarterback realizes, you know what? I got a free play here on 3rd down. Obviously, I'm out of timeouts. I'm going to take a shot in the end zone. I'm going to look over to my wide receiver. We're going to throw a quick fade pattern. Anything. You don't spike the ball and blow one of your 2 downs. It's just asinine.
Awful. It makes me wonder about him. Although I don't know, maybe they were in his ear telling him to spike it. I don't know. Rams, Vikings. We both leaned Vikings. Rams won it by a touchdown despite all the Stafford interceptions. Giants, Eagles. You leaned Giants. Eagles beat them by quite a bit. Bears, Seahawks, we had nothing. Broncos, Raiders. We already talked about that. You had the Broncos in a teaser. And then Steelers, I did not trust Drew Lock enough. Steelers, Chiefs, I lean Steelers, you lean Chiefs. Washington, Dallas. Wow. I put 2 units on Washington getting 10.5. I'm surprised. They got Heineke back. I thought they'd come ready to play. They got embarrassed. And then last night, Dolphins, Saints. I did benefit from the COVID spectrum in that one. I had the Dolphins getting 3 points. By the time the game kicked off, they were laying 3 points, I think. So 6 points of closing line value, mainly just because of what happened with the COVID thing there. So again, for the week, you were up 5 units. I was down 1. You're up 48 for the season. I'm down 1. Our best bets last week, we were 1-0. We only had one teaser in common, and that hit. So for the year, we are 29, 16, and 1 on our best bets. That is a 63% strike rate. Not too shabby. You know what is shabby? Not knowing what's wrong with your car, Steve. I mean, with the free Fix Finder service at AutoZone, you can troubleshoot more dashboard lights, including your check engine light, ABS light, and service interval light. The free Fix Finder will give you possible solutions for your lights, all backed by verified technicians. And if you need a bit of help from a repair shop, AutoZone will even refer you to a nearby shop that you can trust. It is the most complete free warning light report backed by technician verified fixes, and you can only find it at AutoZone. So the next time your dashboard lights pay you a visit, just get in the zone.
AutoZone. Don't get stranded in Winnemucca, Nevada.
I love it, Steve. Love it. All right, let's get to this week. We will start. No Thursday night game. I'm not sure I really understand why that's the case, but there's no Thursday night game. So let's start with the Eagles at the football team. Football team is getting 3.5, Steve.
Don't want any part of the football team after the defensive effort I saw against the Cowboys, a Cowboys offense that had been struggling. Defensive players hitting hard, but they're hitting each other, Ross. That can't be a good sign. If anything, I'll lean Eagles in this game.
Yeah, I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to take Washington. They were embarrassed Sunday night. They're getting a bunch of guys off the COVID list, like Brandon Sheriff and Cole Holcomb and Cam Curl. I've got faith in Ron Rivera, and I just think that those guys, as badly as they played, will be prideful and they'll bounce back. I think they're going to give Philly a heck of a game. I'm putting 2 units on Washington plus 3.5. I think it's going to be a really good football game. How about the Rams and the Ravens? The Rams are laying 3.5 in Baltimore.
Yeah, that Ravens game was just horrendous. You've got to wonder about the mindset of this team, but maybe they circle the wagons after getting blown out. I got nothing on this game. I pass.
Yeah, I guess if anything, I would lean Ravens, thinking that they get Lamar Jackson or Huntley back. I would lean that way. Rams playing a 10 a.m. game, but it's just a lean. Bucks, Jets, I should be giving out the totals as well. The Bucks are laying 13.5. The total is 45.5, Steve.
Boy, it sure looks like an inflated line to me, but I look at my power ratings and it's not. It's right where I made the game. So, it's hard early in the week also. I'm trying to be very conservative in what I play early in the week because possible news that comes out and only playing stuff I think that is really good. I pass this game.
By the way, Steve, this should be noted. I kind of like the Raiders getting 6.5. That line is down. Carson Wentz. I'm looking at DraftKings Sportsbook. That's who we use. Carson Wentz is on the COVID-19 list. We don't know if it's a positive test or he's a close contact. At any rate, It appears he's out for this week. I guess if he was a close contact, maybe now it's only 5 days. I don't know. But it looks like it's a positive probably, and he's out for 10 days. So that line is down.
Yeah, Carson Wentz chose not to get vaccinated. I'm going to get in trouble for this, but I'm going to say it. If you make the decision to play professional football, Ross, imagine, and you made that decision, an informed decision, and it carries with it severe medical repercussions for the rest of your life. I find it extremely inconsistent that a professional football player would fear a vaccine and the impacts of that, but a 330-pound lineman falling on him on a consistent basis is perfectly acceptable as far as a risk. Just my view. I'm sure that Wentz is indeed out. This line is down to 1.5 now at places that you can bet this game.
Interesting. Yeah, I have thought that was a little bit interesting that guys, like, I don't know, I got shot a Toradol before every game. I didn't really even know what was in it. Like I never asked questions. Chiefs at the Bengals. Oh, I should mention Bucks, Jets. I really don't have anything on that game. I guess I would lean the Jets, getting 13.5, getting guys off the COVID list, but I don't have a very strong feeling about it. What about Chiefs, Bengals, Steve, with the Bengals getting 5 at home?
All right, so this is one where my power ratings do land me on the Bengals. The Chiefs have been tremendous, and their defense is playing very well. But now the Chiefs can exhale. Everything's good. They've won the division. I know they're going for home field. I can see this being a war. This is a huge game for the Bengals in the jungle. Give me the Bengals. Good team, catching 5, 2 units.
We are sharing a brain on that one, Steve. I like the Bengals as well. Love the confidence they're playing with. And yes, I would expect the Chiefs to probably get Kelsey back. And the Chiefs are playing really well both sides of the ball. But I still really like what I'm seeing from the Bengals right now. If you're going to give me more than a field goal at home, that place is rocking. The crowd's been amazing. I'm with you. Bengals +5, 2 units, best bet.
The best bet.
Speaking of best bets, PicksWise is the #1 free app for football picks, odds, and analysis. Find expert picks for every game all season long. Loaded with best bets, props, and parlays. You can find in-depth game predictions, giving you the who, how, and why behind every prediction, all for free. Found your pick? Search our latest DraftKings promotions to sign up for an account and place your bet. Download the free PicksWise app now to make your next bet better. PicksWise backs responsible gambling. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Falcons are getting 14.5 in Buffalo against the Bills with a total of 44.5.
So power ratings say I should bet the Falcons. My gut says the Bills love to beat up on bad teams, and this could well happen again. The Bills are suddenly cruising 2 more wins. They win the division, and they're going to meet their expectation amazingly and win 11 games. I'll pass this game.
Yeah, I'm going to go Falcons. Falcons have played pretty tough all year. I think they're a fairly consistent team. Bills coming off a huge emotional win there in New England against the Patriots. I think that they are poised for a letdown. I think the Bills win a close game. 14.5. I mean, more than 2 touchdowns. 2 units. Atlanta getting 14.5. I will take them. How about the Jags getting 15.5 in New England against the Patriots? Total 41.5.
Sure looks like a whole lot of points to me. I could see New England being happy just winning this game. Strong lean. I almost pulled the trigger. Strong lean to the Jaguars, who surely have to be trying harder without Urban Meyer to criticize the entire coaching staff and players.
Yeah, I'll lean Jacksonville as well. Patriots just don't usually beat up teams by that much. So I'll lean Jacksonville, but I can't bet my money or yours on the Jacksonville Jaguars. What about the Dolphins? They're getting 3 points in Tennessee against the Titans. Again, very low total, 41.
Boy, this sure looks like an under to me. If you watch the Dolphins, they were very offensively challenged against the Saints. The Titans are just challenged, period. I think this is going to be a close to the vest 20-17 game. I'll go ahead and lean to the dog. I'll play the under for 2 units, under 41.
Got it. Well, first of all, I like the Dolphins. I'll take the 3. It's a toss-up game. I'll always take the 3 points if you're going to give me that and what I think is a toss-up game. So 2 units for the Dolphins getting the 3. The under is a very interesting play because they both are very good defensively right now, offensively challenged. I'll go in on it with you. 2 units, under 41. I agree. This could easily be 17-14. The under 41 is a best bet.
The best bet.
Giants are at the Bears. Giants are getting 6.5. Total is 37.5, Steve. 37.5.
I keep waiting for the Giants to get the dead cat bounce where, they suddenly have a good game. Hasn't happened yet. Just splat, splat, splat. I pass.
Yeah, I watched that whole Giants-Eagles game. Giants are one of the hardest teams to watch that I've seen in a long time. I mean, they are hard to watch play football. It is rough. I'm going to just pass this game. I guess I would lean Chicago, laying the 6.5, especially if you told me Nick Foles was starting, but I don't even know what's happening there. What about Houston and San Francisco? Houston's getting 13 points. Total's 44.5. We don't know who the quarterback is for the Niners. Either Jimmy G with a bad thumb or Trey Lance.
So Jimmy G doesn't have one. He's got 2 injuries, right? And he's just not that good to begin with. Seems like it's going to be a whole lot of running the ball. I think you have to bet Houston. I'm going to play Houston for 2 units.
Totally agree. I mean, they are playing hard for David Culley. Davis Mills is playing well. I think the Niners win the game, but especially if it's Trey Lance or a banged up Jimmy G, 13 points, 2 units, Texans. Let's get a best bet.
The best bet.
That leads us to Denver, where we also don't know the status of Teddy Bridgewater, who's still in the concussion protocol. They're at the LA Chargers, getting 5 points. Total is 45.
So the Underachievers Bowl here, both teams struggling of late, blowing their playoff chances. My gut says Chargers, but that would only be if the much despised Drew Lock is quarterback. I'll pass if it's Bridgewater.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised by the line. It feels to me like the line suggests it'll be Drew Lock. If it ends up being Bridgewater, you might want to jump in on the Broncos getting 5 points. But right now, I will do nothing. I will just talk about the Cardinals getting 5 points in Dallas against the Cowboys, total 52.
So I made the case that the Cowboys were massively overrated. They'd gotten 3 straight bogus wins that were turnover driven, and we want to bet against them every week. And then they just crushed. They destroyed the Redskins, lost a lot of money. Yeah, they're the Redskins. They're still the Redskins. I'll lean Dallas, if anything. I don't like anything I saw from Arizona in their last game. Lean Dallas.
Lean Dallas for me as well, but I'm not going to lay 5 points against the Cardinals team that I guess they're not desperate, though. That's the thing. They made the playoffs anyway, so they're not desperate. I don't like that. I mean, when's the last time a team made the playoffs after their third – they clinched the playoffs after their 3rd straight loss? Since when does that happen?
Steelers last year were 11-0 and didn't seem to win a game after that.
Yeah, good point. All right, the Lions are playing in Seattle. Lions are getting 7 points. Total's 42.5.
Yeah, really strange line move. Early in the week, everyone's been betting the Lions. So it opened 8.5. came all the way down to 6.5. And then one high-profile tout released on Seattle today, and that knocked it up to 7. And you know what? I think it's kind of like when you see a battle and like these guys are going to win and they're pushing these guys back. And then all of a sudden there's a quick surge and then it just goes back the other way. I think if you want to bet this, grab the 7 now on the Lions. I don't see how you could recommend a bet on Seattle with where that team is. And they were previously a contender. Strong lean Lions +7.
Yeah, I'm taking the Lions. I mean, Jared Goff cleared the COVID protocol. He'll be back. Seattle stinks. Like, we have to just admit this at this point. Seattle's not good, and the Lions are competitive, and now they get Goff back? Give me the Lions, +7, 2 units. Wouldn't be surprised if they won the game outright. How about Carolina and the New Orleans Saints? Carolina's getting 6.5. We don't know who the quarterback is for the Saints. The total's 39.
So think about what's the difference between the Saints starting quarterback beginning of the year, and then Taysom Hill, and now Ian Book. Wowza. Can't bet on Ian Book. Can't do it. If got to wait and see who starts for the Saints. You know what? If we get Taysom Hill and that line goes up to 7.5 or 7, we'll just tease the Saints then, but pass for now.
Yeah, that's a pass for me as well. I'd probably lean New Orleans because Carolina is that bad, and I think Taysom Hill will be back, but I don't know that. So can't do it. What about the Vikings and the Packers? That's a good Sunday night football game. I didn't realize it was Sunday night football. Total's 47. Right now, the Vikings are getting 6.5 points.
You know, right when we thought the Vikings were dead last year, I think they went into Lambeau and won the game outright. I think they've got a good matchup, offense versus defense from that perspective. But I just can't do it. I can't back Kirk Cousins in prime time. How bad was he his last Monday night game against the Bears? Oh my God. Just completely incompetent. But the Packers D is leaking oil. They're giving up all kinds of yardage. I'll pass the game.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna take the Vikings. They beat them last time. The Packers are not playing as well. I think you're right. They do have a good matchup with their receivers, although Thielen got hurt again against the Packers secondary. Packers are slipping. Vikings are desperate, although they should have been more desperate against the Rams. 6.5 just seems like a lot. I think the Packers probably win a close game, field goal type of game. I'll take Kirk Cousins and the 6.5 for 2 units. I'll also take those folks, Steve, that overcome the odds, rewrite the playbook, deliver under pressure. The MVPs of small business lead their teams to victory all year long. Visa is proud to provide playmakers everywhere with more tools to help grow their business and help them achieve even greater success. Because the more people we can empower, the more we all win. Visa, a network working for everyone. All right, last game. It's Monday Night Football. It's not the last Monday night game, actually, because you have one in the playoffs now. But it's the Browns at the Steelers. The Browns are laying 3.5. Total's 41.
There's a Monday Night Football playoff game?
Yeah.
How can that
there's
be?
2 on Saturday, 3 on Sunday, 1 on Monday night, wild card weekend.
You'll have a massive competitive disadvantage the next week.
They say it's going to be the same. You know, whoever plays Monday will play Sunday, the following Sunday. And whoever's playing, people play Sunday, so have to play Saturday. So 6 days.
I'll still fade whoever wins that game. And this game, this line, it amazes me the Steelers are catching 3.5, because if we had been like on Jupiter all week and not paying any attention, and we just looked at these lines and it was, let's say it was pick 'em, we'd be talking about, okay, I think we'd say that's kind of a logical line, and I'll lean Cleveland at pick. But I don't think we would be rushing like, oh, Cleveland's a great bet at pick 'em. So if Cleveland's not a great bet at pick 'em, well, we got to play Steelers +3.5. That makes no sense. This game's going to be 20-18, and Cleveland Cleveland doesn't find a way to win. Pittsburgh finds a way to lose. Fine. You give me 3.5, 3 units. Steelers, 3 units.
Wow. That is intense. I'll give you another one to add to that, Steve. This is Big Ben's last home game. Now, he hasn't officially said that, but it's Big Ben's last home game. Everybody kind of knows it. I think those guys are going to come out of there flying. I love the Steelers in this one. Man, 3 units makes me nervous. I only do 2, but I'm with you on the best bet. Steelers plus 3.5. I think they win the game outright. Actually, you know what? If you're doing it, I'm doing it. You're the one that's plus 40-something this year. 3 units. Steelers plus 3.5. 3 units. Best bet.
The best bet.
Love it. That is the way you finish a show.
Everybody put on Renegade right now. Go to the video, put on Renegade, listen to it all. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers.
I love it. Yeah, I mean, they cannot lose they can't lose Ben's last game at home on Monday night. Cannot happen. Good luck, everybody. Hope you guys make some money.
Thanks for listening to the Even Money Podcast. Make sure to also subscribe to the Ross Tucker Football Podcast, The Fantasy Feast, Business of Sports, and The College Draft. All available at Apple Podcasts, rosstucker.com, or wherever podcasts can be found.
A lot of times on the show, I mentioned DraftKings. Here's what you need to know. You got to be 21 or older, New Jersey, Indiana, or Pennsylvania only. New customers only. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER, or in Indiana, 1-800-9-WITH-IT. By the way, if what I was talking about included a deposit bonus, doesn't always, sometimes it does. Deposit bonus requires 25 times playthrough, and deposit bonuses are paid out in site credit.